This is Into Math 3rd grade, lesson 15.2. Compare fractions with the same denominator. I can compare fractions that are divided into an equal number of same size parts. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 406. We will start with Build Understanding Part 1. If you need to pause this video at any time, you may do so. Part 1. Both Rennie and Leah paint the same size patios that are divided into 6 equal stations. Rennie paints 3/6 of his patio floor orange. Leah paints 4/6 of her patio floor pink. Who paints less area? Part A. How can you represent the areas that Rennie and Leah paint? And then they have a green box with Rennie's patio and Leah's patio next to each other, and we know that they are the same size patios. So the first step is to remember that they have told us that they're both the same size and they're both divided into 6 equal sections. So we can start by making both patios into 6 equal pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and you can follow along and do the same thing to make both of these 6 equal pieces so we can compare them. Then I'm going to go back and take a look at the information that they told us. On Rennie's patio, 3/6 of the patio was colored in orange. So I'm going to shade 3 of these patio squares orange. You can do the same thing. Now I'm going to take a look at Leah's. We were told that Leah paints 4/6 of her patio. So now I'm going to color in 4 of the 6 squares that we created. Okay, now we get ready to answer part B. Who paints less area of the patio, and how do you know? Well, looking at the visual that we created, we can see that Rennie's patio has less parts painted. So we can answer that Rennie's patio has fewer equal parts of the whole painted, so he paints less area. In part C, they asked us to write less than, greater than, or equal to. And remember that we read this from left to right. So we have 3/6, which is Rennie's patio, compared to 4/6. If you would like to pause and try this part on your own, you may do so and come back. And when you come back, you will find, just like we saw in the visual, that 3/6 is definitely less than 4/6. So Rennie's patio has less area, so it is smaller than the 4/6 of Leah's patio. Now let's take a look at part 2. Ellen's desk is 7/4 yards from the wall. And Ethan's desk is 3/4 yards from the wall. How can you show each distance using fraction strips and a number line? You're welcome to try this part on your own and come back if you'd like, or follow along with me. First thing I'm going to do is show the fraction strips. I'm going to start with Ellen's. I see that she has 7/4 yards, and there are 1/4 sections on the fraction strip. So I'm going to look at the numerator, which is 7, and I'm going to fill in 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of these fraction strips to represent 7/4 for Ellen's desk. That's the distance it is away from the wall. Then I'm going to take a look at Ethan's desk, and his desk is 3/4 yards away from the wall. So we're going to look at the numerator 3, and we're going to color in 3/4. Now we're going to look at the number line. The number line first for Ellen is 7/4. So here we have 0/4, then we have 4/4, and 8/4. So this shows that we need to go to 7/4 fourths. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Ellen's would go here, and we can label that 7/4. Now we're going to do the same thing for Ethan's. His was 3/4. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. We're going to put a dot right here for the 3/4. Now we have shown the fraction strips and the number line for both Ellen and Ethan. Let's take a look at part B. Whose desk is the farthest from the wall, and how do you know? So we can see that Ellen's desk is the farthest from the wall because it has the largest distance. It's the furthest away from 0, which would be where the wall is. And we can see that here in our visual model as well. So we are going to answer that Ellen's desk 7/4 is farther from 0 on the number line than 3/4. So 7/4 is greater. And then we are going to compare the fractions here by writing 7/4 is greater than 3/4. Let's take a look at the next page, page 407, part 3. Len uses 5/8 of a wooden board to make a roof for a tree house. Raylet uses 7/8 of the same size board to make a chair. Who uses more of their board? Show where Len and Raylet cut their boards. If you would like to pause and try this on your own, you may do so, or just follow along with me. So first we're going to see that Len uses 5/8 of the board. And so these boards are already cut into 8 sections. So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is where Len has made his cut of the same size board, 5/8. Then I'm going to take a look at Raylet's, who had 7/8 of the board. That's how much they use. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right here is where Raylet cuts for 7/8 of the board. So now we can look at part A. When equal size wholes are divided into the same number of equal parts, the denominators are the same. You can then look at the blank to compare the number of the parts being counted. So let's take a look at this. We know that the denominator for both is 8. So what are we then looking at to compare? Well, we're looking at these two numbers, and those numbers are called the numerator. So we can write in, you can then look at the numerator to compare the number of parts being counted. Let's take a look at part B. Each whole board has blank equal parts. Well, we have already determined that the boards both have 8 equal parts. And now we're going to compare the numerators. Blank parts are more than blank parts. So we're looking at the bigger number, which would be 7. So we can say 7 parts are more than 5 parts. So then we're able to write 7 is greater than 5. And so then we know that this whole fraction, 7/8, is greater than this whole fraction, 5/8. Who uses more of their board? I think we know that Raylet uses more of the board, so we can write that down here, and we can answer the last question. To compare fractions with the same denominator, how do the numerators tell you which fraction is greater? So we can answer, if the denominators are the same, the parts are the same size. So I can compare the number of parts counted in the numerators. Please remember you can always go back and rewatch this video and pause along the way anytime as needed.